What's up, guys? It's John at National Sports Entertainment, and I wanted to go into tonight's game and final game of the NBA season. And contrary to what some people might think, I'm a very humble man, so I have no problem saying, we were off again. The Heat went further than a lot of us thought they would, but in the end, they did get kind of squashed in the finals. Now, and this is what I go over every, for football, for all of them. For hockey, we did hockey. Baseball is just more day-to-day. I've been doing that on my membership site. But for basketball, college, over the course of the season, we do really well. So that's all I could be, the last couple of games can, suck. But as long as we're profiting over the course of the season, which we did, that's my first goal. But yeah, tonight was an interesting game. I think at the least, people will now, people that weren't sure, might start seeing, okay, this is wrestling. What are the odds Jimmy just can't get a layup, can't get a free throw? He's mishandling drives. And then 3 minutes left in the game, he goes Tracy McGrady mode. So that kind of stuff, I think a lot of people. Jokic looked like, honestly, this game, because I have to be honest, once watching the game, it looked like the Nuggets did everything in their power just to keep the Heat in the game. So, I guess, maybe I know a lot of people were saying this is such a boring finals. It's such a, mismatch, all these different things. Maybe that's why this game, the Nuggets did so bad, because it was one of those games where, and I think it's great for live betting. I think it's why we do really good with live betting in my Discord. You could almost feel the vibe of the game. It was almost like, man, even if the Heat are up 10, it just feels weird. They don't feel like they're up 10. And you can kind of tell based off the little things, the offensive rebounds, the role players, just players playing out of element, which Jokic never really did, but Jimmy did. So a lot of interesting things like that, in my opinion. But yeah, at the end of the day, Jimmy, a lot like Luka. I guess, I should always stick to my first gut. My first gut told me, this is obviously way before the playoffs, Jimmy reminded me of James Harden. I'm like, he's just like a guy who, he seems like he could do really good, but then his numbers don't match up with how he played. Same with Luka. But then they gave him this, they got me. They bamboozled me, because they really started giving him this vigilante treatment, he's like this cold, callous mix of MJ and Kobe. And it looks like it was all facade. What I'm more interested in is how they're going to treat him after this, because, they try and spin it and say, oh, he's been in the finals. But, I mean, there's really been not many, star players of a team where their performance in the finals has been this abysmal. So I'm more curious to see what they talk about as far as Butler going forward. Stuff I noticed in the middle of the game. So one thing I went over before, and the reason I liked the Nuggets to go to the finals, was I had mentioned that Denver also has a Russell W. And Bill Russell died this year. And sure enough, they went to Russell Wilson right as they won. So that could have been, in hindsight, that could have been some kind of symbolism that, Bill W. was there, Russell W. was there, W. Russell, William Russell was there. I find that interesting. And I did find it interesting when, like I said, when I saw Denver was matched up in the conference finals at that point, it made sense. Okay, Russell Wilson, Bill Russell. It's just weird, I was trying to even tie in Russell Westbrook because I thought that was odd. And just all the Russell W's. And then we had the D'Angelo Russell trade. But the Russell Wilson's the most interesting because it's the exact same initials. So, yeah, I found that odd. And then, of course, he plays for Denver. But, yeah, they went to all the Denver legends, things of that nature. They didn't before the game. Maybe they didn't want to tip anything off. They basically waited until the game was, out of reach. And then they went to all the different Denver legends and showed them in attendance. But yeah, like I said, we had a good season. We've been over the target with some things. We missed on a few things. I do think that this is win or loss. I feel like this is the end of the Spoelstra dynasty. That's the reason I had them winning. I also think, and I went over this with the Warriors last year, I think this is just like a Nuggets one time. For the Warriors, I thought it was a send-off. This, I think, is an unceremonious send-off for Jimmy and Spoelstra. Jimmy's going to retire there, but I don't think they're ever going to win again. The Nuggets, obviously making history. So definitely a possibility. They just wanted to get that out of the way. At the same time, now they gave Joker his finals. I can't imagine that they're going to send them back. And that helps us going forward because I think we could roll out the Warriors and Nuggets right off the bat as far as next year. And that's pretty good if we can roll out those two teams. It just leaves like a select few that realistically can do it. Same with the East. We kind of had Boston ruled out early. I had Philly, and maybe they're actually Philly's looking like they're going to rebuild, but it could be another Atlantic team next year. But yeah, the other thing that's cool is football. I know a lot of people want me to go into football, so I decided, okay, I want to pay attention to basketball. I know a lot of people want to see football, but we have a couple months to go. Rosters aren't even decided, but I will go into my first inklings as far as what I think is going to happen. I can say off the bat, teams like the Raiders and 49ers are appealing to me because of the theme. I always try and follow the themes, and the themes are always changing, and I'm noticing very likely the two winners are going to be the Golden Nuggets and the Golden Knights. So it makes me think of the Niners, obviously, Gold Rush. The Niners are also due. So I feel like Niners would make a lot of sense. And then, obviously, Raiders, it's in Vegas. Another gold kind of reference, and they're silver. Someone mentioned to me, because I brought this up, I think it was in my Discord, and they said, I like that because it would be silver and gold. So we have to look into all that and see what's going to happen. There's a lot of teams that appeal to me. I've been telling people the Dolphins kind of stick out to me. It could actually be the Cowboys year, so it could be a lot of different things. But I look forward to going into football. I think it's going to be really fun. And I have a couple, I'd say, they're definitely hot takes regarding a couple big teams. The Chiefs, I probably am the only person that has an opinion of the Chiefs that I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I don't want to get too much ahead of myself because I'll go into the NFL. But, yeah, I'll explain why. And there's just some other things that I think they're going to do this year to change things up. And like I said, so far we got two golden winners. So, it makes me look at teams. People are saying Saints, but, again, the teams that have won, it's not like their color is gold. It's their team name. And that's why I like the Niners. I actually liked the Niners last year for the same reason, because I thought they were doing something with gold. And now with the dollar crashing and two gold teams actually winning, it's funny they play the Steelers too, week 1. But yeah, to me that makes sense. So I'll be going into all that, who I think will make the playoffs, red herrings. And again, we killed it last football season. We did good this basketball season, not as good as football. Again, missed the finals, but that's, not a lot of games compared to how many we hit. But again, I still have no problem admitting people that had Denver, congratulations. I don't agree with you if you say you had Denver because they're the better team. I think that logic went out the window a long time ago when the Mavericks didn't even make it into the playoffs, and just a bunch of other ludicrous things happened. But, anyone that had Denver, still congratulations. I know Double P, I think you had them in 5, so that's a really good call. I hope you got the right order. I thought you went Miami, Denver, but you might have went with something else. I know you probably told me a few times, but either way, good call. You had it in 5, which is good. You were over the target. So yeah, I'll be going into the NFL, and I appreciate everybody. Feel free to clown me. You guys give me praise when I'm over the target. I deserve to be told that, man. Now there's one person who keeps telling me he's literally the only guy. I think he doesn't have much time because I'll put out a video and then seconds later he's like, can you put out another video? And he's like, oh man, you're responsible for losing me so much money on the Heat. And to that I say, we went 2-3 in the finals, including a 3-1 payout. So we actually made out a little better if you just bet a unit on every game. We actually profited, believe it or not, in the finals. And we profited immensely throughout not only the season, but the playoffs with the Heat. So, if you want to blame me for losing money or something, that's fine, but it's not accurate because we've been over the target enough that we've been making money, especially with the system for the playoffs and things of that nature. But yeah, this is literally the only guy. You guys might see him, and he basically just comes on after every video and is like, oh, you got to do another video. People are, you owe it. And then when we went the first time we lost with the Heat after 7 straight, he's like, oh, you let us all down. So I get it. I do try and give my honest opinion. So when it's wrong, I'll definitely wear it. But yeah, as far as beating Vegas, those metrics, especially since we started irreversible. I think we're just going to continue to win, and I think we have a good football season. I really do. We had a good football season last year. We had most of the teams that got in the playoffs got in. Same with the NBA. We were off on like 2 teams on each side, and I think it's just because they set up some obvious narratives. So yeah, I look forward to doing it. I think we're going to kill it this football season. The truth is, more people like football than basketball. And on my old channel, when I was doing basketball, it was hard to get people to really get engaged. And I get it. When you have both of them going on at the same time, football's a little more interesting to the masses. But I still like to cover what I can. That's why I've covered the WNBA at times, because if I think it's a good play, I'm going to play it. So yeah, I'm guessing in a couple days I'll do my, because I basically have my mind made up, but I also wanted to go into basketball separately. I'm not going to have all my week 1s yet. I think that's kind of ludicrous to pick them now. But I am going to have who I think is going to make the playoffs, and my early Super Bowl predictions I might as well. So take care, everybody, and happy earnings.